everybody. Welcome to Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center. You know me, I'm your teacher, Mary. And today we have the wonderful, magical Danny Shay.
Magical. Watch me shapeshift away. No.
And that rhymes. Danny
Mary.
Shay, shapeshift away.
Thank you, Mary. This is fun to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Yay. Yay.
I'm excited. It's always a treat getting to work with you, Danny. What do you have going on over in California? What's going on your way?
We got a little bit of rain today, but not like crazy. So not like the rest of the country. So what I do on my channel is I do a lot of political energy stuff. I try to keep it as super light as possible. And so I do that mainly on Mondays and Fridays, do some energy on Monday. Friday, it's just a kind of like a ramble. But Sunday is my favorite day. And that's where I do just a high vibe spiritual type show, wherever that leads to. So that's what that is. And it's weird because I haven't missed a Sunday, and I hope I'm going to knock on wood. I hope I don't jinx it. But I haven't missed doing a Sunday show in like 5 years. It's
Wow.
crazy. I don't commit to anything like that.
He really doesn't. You can't nail down Danny. You're like, you want to do this again in a month, in 3 weeks? And he's like, nah, I think I have stuff going on.
Well, and the stuff that I have going on is, I like to get out and do a lot of camping and things like that. And sometimes I like to go on the spur of the moment. And I have, since retired, it's like, I don't need to keep a schedule. And so having a schedule, and I look at my calendar and I go, I got a schedule again. So that's part of it. I do commit to things, and once I do, I really try to keep those commitments, and I don't like breaking them. So that's why I'm such a flake with setting up times and things.
I feel the same way. I'm actually really good with scheduling, but then it like gives me anxiety to have a repeated schedule. So like my friends, we have something called like family dinners, and we do something. We set up a lunch like once a month, and it gives me anxiety because I'm like, this feels unsustainable. I can't do this every month forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
And like I just spiral about it.
Right.
So I have
right.
to skip a month to give myself more time, and then I'll go to the next one.
Yeah. Because and the other thing too is that it loses a sense of newness if it's like repeat. It just kind of gets, you forget how special it is.
And in the context of the channel, and I've mentioned this before, there's words that are given, and allowing yourself not to be on such a strict schedule allows you to receive words, to flow with your cycles, and to give when it's time to give, not just to put out content. So I really like you have a day dedicated to just rambling. Yeah. Just to ramble about whatever comes to Mr. Shay's mind, because I'm sure it's a web in there.
Oh, it is. It's a snarled mess sometimes.
A snarled mess. Well, let's see what kind of a snarled mess we get out of today.
But what do you have going on? What is your main mission for the coming weeks?
You're on my channel, Danny.
You got me last time on that, so I had to come back.
My main mission in the coming weeks, I'm doing a lot, honestly. I'm putting together this cacao course. I'm almost through recording it. I've got all of the information recorded, and
say that again.
A cacao course.
Cow course?
Cacao. Cacao.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's
Cacao.
delicious.
Yay.
Yes. So I'm almost done with that. It's a 25-page booklet. I've got the information recorded. I just have to do record the ceremony itself and a guided journey and stuff like that. And then hopefully we'll have that for instant download on our website, earthandstarwellness.com.
Nice.
Other than that, we're doing our healing sessions. We're advertising this retreat in Highlands that we're going to be hosting, and doing some timeline work. We're definitely doing that. I put out, I'm not going to go into detail because, like I said, this is a spiritual channel, not a political channel. But with some of my clients who have been doing a lot of their own healing work for the past year or two, who are now at a level where they can start doing their own shape-shifting and timeline healing work. We're doing work on the timeline. We're opening things up for the conscious awareness that so far has been suppressed in the collective. We have had a chance to work on JD Vance and Valinsky, and we're actually doing the work and changing hearts and changing the timeline. So I name dropped, but we're not going to get deep into it. I see you brewing. You're like, we're getting some work done, and
Yeah.
I think it's super important, even with the retreat, because that's our main thing we're talking about the luminous warrior, how we're not in fear, we're not in a powerless state, really coming into our own power so that we can just be what we're meant to be. So that's the whole point of that retreat, is overcoming fear and coming into an empowered state. And only through doing that are we able to make these changes that we're wanting to make in our government, in our timeline. So I think that might be how all of this started with this show today.
Well, yes, timelines that you did with Susan Lynn, and that was super powerful. And it's a video that requires a few listens to, because there's so much information in it. And so when we wanted to do a show, we decided to do something simple. I said, let's do something simple, because Susan Lynn said, let's, give me a couple of simple things to talk about. And then she picked timelines. And I'm like, that's not simple.
Well, no, let me clarify real quick. I picked timelines. She said that sounds like something you should kind of do as a workshop. And I was like, okay, well, I'm really called to this word. And she's so supportive of everything. So she's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And I said, okay, we might have to start simple and build up to this. And then as soon as we started recording, she said, so timelines, tell me about it. I was like, okay, I guess we're just diving in. But anyways, after I told you that, then you were like, you emailed me and
let's do something simple like shape-shifting. And I was kidding, and you go, yes. And I went, oh my gosh. And so I got quiet with it, and I heard a big yes too. So this is super exciting for me, shape-shifting. And can I start yakking?
Yak, yes.
Okay, here we go. So there's a couple of different ways for me that I think of shape-shifting. When some people think, oh, we can shift our awareness into a power animal, or any. I mean, I use power animals a lot. I use them in my 4-direction medicine, and recently, well, the last year, I guess, or 9 months, I have been like blending in with my directions more and more. And when we tap into psychic stuff, we are actually blending in with another person's higher self, their guides, their angels. And so we're doing that blending. And so when we shapeshift, for me, it's still a little bit of that blending aspect to it. So let's say if I'm going to shapeshift with my power animal from the east, which would be eagle, condor, then how does that feel when I actually soar as eagle, as condor? And so to me, it's almost a blending, but then it goes one notch in a little bit. So I actually get to feel that sensation of soaring on the thermals. I do that with water power animals too that I have, and I mean, that just sends me shape shifting into that. But some people, I think that, they go, well, yeah, okay, I'm not into shamanism that much, and I'm whatever. But we can also shape shift into, and here's where it goes into a little bit of timelines for me. Shape shift into a higher level of consciousness. And it's just like putting yourself in a mood that, or a space that is without fear, that is in acceptance, love, joy, and putting ourselves in that. And with all this craziness in the world that we're dealing with, and we see all of the I'm not in that space, so I can't even think of the word right now. But all the anxiety and fear that we're dealing with in today's world, if we just shift into a higher vibration, then we are actually healing the current time stream that we are in. We are healing past time streams, future time streams, because we're getting it. We're figuring it out. Oh, we shouldn't be in this fear all the time. We should be in a higher vibration, still acknowledging it's not to like let it go away, because you need both sides to it. And then I think that that as we change those shape shift those time streams, we are also shape shifting the galactic collective, and as different galactic beings, societies are moving through their time streams, we are also affecting their time streams by being in that, by shape-shifting into that higher vibration.
I love your perspective.
Simple.
He just transcendence in simple terms is what you just described as transcendence. But I love your perspective of that, because where I would have said, like, because I kind of try to teach this as, oh, well, you're matching a vibration. You think about a radio and you change the station to what you want to listen to, and then you make yourself match that, is kind of like what mediumship is, what shape shifting is. But I like how you brought the visual to it by saying you're just blending with something that you want to shapeshift into. So when you want to shapeshift into your eagle or your condor or your snake or your jaguar, whatever that looks like for you, there's a certain medicine there, I'm assuming, that you're trying to reach. There's a certain vibration, a certain level, and you just kind of focus on that and allow how here's the thing. How do you allow yourself to soften into the blending?
Yeah. And when you talked about the vibration, matching the vibration, you certainly can't be, you can't be a wolf trying to get into eagle energy. It's maybe a little bit, but really, because or whatever the predator is of eagle, you have to find the right vibration to be with that eagle. So yeah, and I think it goes along with dealing with our earthly vessel that we are here. I mean, we have to, as we blend in, we have to let go of some of the 3D to get into that higher state. And so if we want to look into science a little bit, which I don't too much, but we have the different types of brain waves. We have the beta, what is it, alpha, theta, and with shamanic drumming, that gets us into that state where we are able to blend in a little better. We're in that magical shape-shifting phase in our brain that allows us to get into that, which is why I like shamanic drumming.
The beats, there's so many beats per minute, and it helps you kind of come out of yourself. I'm so excited about where this has gone because you're teaching us how we can get into our flow state, essentially, and how the flow state is what's required for some level of transcendence within the 3D. When we think about shape shifting and skills like that, it's not like we're actually changing our 3D form because we live in the 3D. That's something that happens transcendentally. What we're doing is shifting our consciousness, our vibrations, our energy, and blending those things. And how we do that, you said, was by switching brainwaves, getting into the flow state. And I see this on a logical level as someone who's able to let go of their identity for a while. Because like you said, you can't be a wolf trying to be an eagle. And that's because the wolf is saying, I'm wolf. And if I'm wolf, I'm not eagle. There has to be a let go of identity. And you mentioned science, but I'm going to get more into mathematics. The mathematical definition of identity is a transformation that leaves an object unchanged.
Say that again.
A transformation that leaves an object unchanged.
Okay.
That is the mathematical definition of identity. So when you have your identity and you're holding on to your identity can be your name, your job, what you do. But the reason we build our identity is for physical safety, so that we know who we are, so we know we're separate from who you are. But when we do that, it puts those walls and keeps us from shifting into other things. It keeps us in stasis. You almost have to be amorphous in order to be able to connect to so many different vibrations and energies and become anything that you need to be at any given time.
I like that. I wasn't very mathematical. I'm thinking, we're going to get into pi and division, but no, that wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It was just a definition.
So, our ego, as we sometimes see it with our identity, a lot of times when I go into this space, and if I'm hearing my inner voice going, don't forget me, and I go, no, I won't. I'm going to take your little ego It's this big right there. I'm going to put you over here. I'm going to give you a little pillow, let you go to sleep. I'm going to come back and get you when I'm done. So don't worry, I'm coming back. And then I go, off and do my thing. And I come back and I pick up my ego, and ego's all rested. Ego.
Your ego.
Right, because it's there's a lot of protection that goes in with that ego. So yeah, cool.
But even so, you did mention the need for protections also, even when in the shape-shifting state.
I did. If I didn't, I'm glad I did. I don't remember saying that.
Maybe I read it.
Yeah. But that is huge, 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 huge. Oh my gosh. So what I hear with this, when I talk about it, I go, it's huge, but it shouldn't be like heavy, big. It shouldn't be like insurmountable or something like that. It's just, we just need to pay attention to it, in my view. We just need to stay in the higher vibration, in the light. And if we need to pay attention to our body, mind, spirit, and see what's going on with that, and bring in our protections, however you see that. For me, a lot of it is the medicine wheel. A lot of it is my guides, my angels, my galactic power center that I bring in and just surround me in this light. So if I'm walking through the day, I'm not getting affected by a lot of the negativity that comes in.
So during shape-shifting, you call in the angels and guides and all of that stuff for that protection. Is this specifically to protect the little ego that you have on your pillow sleeping while you're away? Or is this protections for your spirit energy while it's blending and shape-shifting?
Well, so I would say when I'm shape shifting into my power animal, I'm not that concerned with anything negative coming in. If I am doing a psychic reading, then that's when I really bring in a lot of protections. Mm-hmm. But if I am shape shifting into higher source energy, I don't feel the need to do that. However, I still do. I mean, I still bring in my master teachers, my power animals. I'll usually always start off with a quick medicine wheel, 4 directions, mm-hmm. 6 in me. So I don't know why I keep calling it 4 directions, because it isn't. It's not 4 directions at all. It's 7. So lucky 7.
I love that in numerology. So there's something coming up here. One, my mind's going 3 different directions at once. Okay, so before I get complicated for 2 seconds and then uncomplicate things, can you talk to us a little bit about your medicine wheel? What I liked was that you called it 4-direction medicine, and that you're using the medicine wheel as protections. Now, I know that within my medicine wheel, this is like a way of being, a way to live life, a way to heal.
Yeah.
And there's archetypes at each direction that do have medicines. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
That's the same for you? Okay.
Yeah. So my medicine is in the East, it's eagle, condor, hawk. It could be owl too sometimes, and they
Mm.
change a little bit for me. They don't always stay the same. Eagle has been there for years and years and years. Hawk as well. Condor recently came in, and when I say that, it's a lot of times I'll call in eagle energy. But when I did this one time, I went, hey, condor is there. And it was weird because then maybe it was because I was going to go look for condors in California in a couple of weeks. So maybe that's why condor came. But anyway, and then in the south, I have jaguar, snake, and coyote. And then in the west, I have bear, shell woman, and whale. And so that the whale, somebody goes, "You have whale in the west?" And I go, "Well, yeah, because yeah, why not?" Anyway,
No, I
whale
like.
is whale is a great teacher. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, even in the Druidic training, they have salmon in the West. So those
Hmm.
water animals actually are pretty indicative of the West, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And um, and then the north is white buffalo, calf woman,
Hmm.
with her sacred pipe, and that is, um, I always ask when I go into the north, because that's a really powerful direction for me. I mean, it's like super reverent, super powerful, and I just I ask that these archetypes walk with me, not that I blend with them so much, but that
Mhm.
I'm just next to them so that I can be aware of their energy, their power, how they walk this cycle of the day, of the week, of the month, of life. And so and then of course Mother Earth, grounding, and Father Sky, and then it just goes and it all connects into me, the seven. So
So,
is that what you were asking, or did I just go off on a big tangent?
no, I'm about to go off on a tangent in a little bit.
Oh,
So this is bringing me to where there's one thing I want to talk about with protections, but on a different level. And then I want to kind of go into why we shapeshift. But while we're here, just making this tangible for viewers out there, because you and I have worked some form of medicine wheel from different cultures and different trainings. But somebody out there who has not done this, how could they utilize archetypal animals, or how do they know what power animals they can call on in order to shapeshift or to have those protections or someone to walk beside them?
you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to go off on it. I thought you were going to go off. I
No,
was going,
that's
whoo,
later.
I get to relax and listen to Mary, and I don't have to say anything. So for me, it's all about the journey. It's doing a shamanic journey where you call in your power animal. You invite them to come into your space so that um, you can start to have a relationship with them. You can, and a lot of times, I mean, I have books on Native American power animals and all of that. I think that is a good resource after the journey, after the conversation. So when I do a journey to meet your power animals, and we're walking on the earth in our mind's eye into our sacred space, and when an animal comes into our awareness, when we get to see it a little clearer, when we focus on it, we have a conversation with it and say, "Are you my power animal?" And they may go, No, but I'll show you one. Come here, follow me. And I'm joking. I like to have a lot of fun when I don't like this to be so serious. I want to have fun in my journeys and with my power animals. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. They go, get a little serious. Okay. So, but I ask them, are you my power animal? And they will give a response, and it depends on your clairs, whether you are clairaudient, claircognizant, clair whatever's. But they may shake their head, they may give you a feeling, whatever it is, yeah, it's me. And I don't know, do you find that so what is your definition, I'm going to shift it back to you, of a totem and a power animal?
So in my personal experience, a totem animal, and I know that this is also different for different cultures and different people.
Yes.
But a totem animal is more like ancestral. Animals that have worked with your family and each of your ancestors, and that kind of becomes your totem. Whereas a power animal to me are specific for you and your journey in this particular life.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that how you would?
Yeah. And I would shorten it up to this particular time in your life.
Yes.
Because I'll have different power animals come up for different things. But yeah, the totem, I agree. That's the way that I look at it. And there is no right or wrong with this, but it's almost like a guardian angel, a totem that's there for your life. However, how many lives have you lived in this body?
You ask in this body?
In this body. I've lived a number of different lives in this body.
My intuition said 388. I'll have to break that down.
So are you on your 389th year? No, not a year, but lifetime?
Yeah, phase within this
Wow,
incarnation.
You look good for that.
Thanks. I hear I look like I'm only on my 20th life.
But as we move to, from when I was in, working in the summer of my life, where it was get up, do the job, go, go, go. Different power animal, actually totally different awareness. I wasn't even aware that there was a power animal that I could call on. So yeah. Okay.
I feel a little privileged in my power animal journey because it's the first shaman I ever sat with when I heard the call to do shamanism. The first thing that she did was take me through a guided journey. And in that journey, I met all of my power animals, all of them.
All of them?
All of them. I met them all at one time. All of my core power animals I met at one time in my very first journey ever. And that journey awakened my Kundalini. I felt it. And then I was just on the track. It was like, all right, it's done. We're going. But I will say that since then, I've gotten new ones come in. So, I have more that are just here. These are my core ones, but I do have more than that now. And some of them have even shifted and changed, like you said, with time, with the phase, and even out of my core ones, there's times in my life where I work more with bear medicine, and then times in my life I work more with crow medicine, and times in my life I work more with my hawk. So it is changing like that, how we change. Can we play a game?
Oh my gosh. Oh my, last time. Are we going to talk about Mickey Mouse?
Oh, no. I want not that kind of game. Look, Mr. Shay, you better get it together.
Can we
Get it
edit?
No, listen. I want to do like
Let's
a quick
play a
little
game.
journey.
Let's play a game.
It's like a journey. I just want to do a quick little journey, not even like a journey, okay? So Danny was talking about how you can use all of your clairs if you feel that there's a need for a power animal. And we know that power animals come to give us medicine, strength, guidance, protection during certain times in our lives. So using your clairs, that means just what pops into your head as claircognizance, what you can envision through clairvoyance, what you can hear through clairaudience, what you can feel in your body through clairsentience. So I want everybody just to take a moment, take a couple of deep breaths to clear their channel. Mm-hmm. Uncross your legs and put your feet flat on the ground. And as you do, we're just going to ask this question. What power animal medicine do I need most in my life right now? And just let that answer just pop into your head. Don't overthink it. Don't doubt it. The first thing that you know, see, feel. What you got?
Snake.
Danny, I can't journey with you anymore. Listen, I saw a dog and then a snake came up and ate it. Snake ate my dog and you ate my dog. Anyways, but when the snake, journey with this man. I'm done. His power animals eat mine. But when the snake ate the dog, it turned into a hummingbird. So I think I was left with hummingbird.
There you go.
So snake, I have this lovely book here.
Oh. Wait a minute. Let me look. Okay, I think I have that, and I have, let's see what this one says. That one is another good one. Snake. Hunters and
you look up hummingbird.
What did I open it up to? Hunters and prey. Snake-eating dog.
I'm telling. I'm not sure who I'm going to tell yet, but I'm telling spirit on you. I feel shocked and appalled right now.
Shocked and appalled.
Snake. Okay. I'm going to read about Snake. We're reading about Danny right now, guys. In this point of his life, he's a snake. And that means he's about to go through significant personal changes so intense and dramatic that an old self will metaphorically die and a new self emerges.
Woohoo!
Well, that's technically what happened to the dog.
So, slide per, hang on. I'm trying to find my snake man. I have not really looked at this book, Snake Man in the Mississippi.
That sounds insane.
It does. I grew up on the Mississippi. Well, not on the Mississippi. I mean, I'm not like Huck Finn or anything, but I need to look at this a little bit better. I have not really looked at this. I just got this, and I really haven't looked into it that much. But yes, Snake is all about rebirth, shedding skin, letting go of that which no longer serves. And I've known for well, I don't know how long, but recently, it's just more and more in my awareness that things are shifting at an exponential level with me. And so it's, you know, it's super exciting to see where this is all going to go. You talked about when you heard the calling for shamanism, and I thought, when did I hear that? And I go, well, it was, I bought a deck of cards, and it was Mystical Shaman,
Mhm.
that deck. And then I went and saw, I was like hanging out with this intuitive group, which is weird because I had to drive like a half hour to go to this intuitive group. Not like me at all. And I stayed there for like a year in this intuitive group. Not like me at all. And this woman, she called herself a neo shaman. And I went, well, I don't know what the hell that is. And she gave me Wisdom and Power, Frank Fool's Crow book to borrow. And I read that in about 3 days, not like me at all. And so that was like this transformation and calling. And I'm getting a sense of, in my snake life right now, that is where I'm going. Another huge shift.
I'm excited to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, you and me both.
Well, so the dog, because remember, your snake ate my dog. The dog is
Yeah,
basically
it was
about,
good. Yum.
tastes like
Tastes
chicken.
like chicken.
How did I know you were gonna say that? Because I'm a psychic. Okay, so dog is about keeping the faith, determination, resolution, overcoming those sorts of things. And then the snake, which you just described very beautifully, was what ate that dog. And then it transformed into hummingbird. So, hummingbird is really the medicine that I'm left with at this time in my life. And hummingbird medicine is about emotional sweetness, expression of love, drawing love into your life, being flexible through twists and turns, endurance from time to time. But I'm just going to focus on the joy part because that's the part I really like, the sweetness. You think of hummingbird eating nectar. So, whatever you guys came up with, drop in the comments and let us know whatever power animal came to you, because this could be like a power animal that you have all the time or something that's just here for this part of your life. But I'd be curious for us to all experience that together.
Yeah. And don't think that you need to go get a book. I mean, ask your power animal first. What does that mean? What does that mean for you before you jump on Dr. Google and see what some other person has said about it? Because what I got from the hummingbird is they are great travelers. They travel huge distances. And so when you said endurance, I'm like, yeah. And so dog, it was like this loyalty, comfort, protection, and it feels like I shouldn't say what I'm going to say, so I won't, because I think it's for you to decide instead of somebody else. What's that?
Okay. I didn't know if you meant for me to decide whether or not you say it or whether or not that's what it is.
No. I was going to go into what I saw about that, but I just said don't go look at Dr. Google, so don't look at somebody else to tell you what that meaning is. It's important for you to find your own meaning of the power animal before you go into something else. So
Absolutely. I love that because, most of the time when I think of dog, I think of, or when I see dogs coming to people, it's like a friendship, loyalty, companion kind of thing, because dogs will literally stick with you through thick or thin and think you're the greatest thing since iced tea. So, why then, now that we have our power animals and we know how we can like shapeshift into them, or at least just ask them to walk with us and give them their medicine or their teachings, why would we shapeshift? Like, why do we do that? What is the point of that?
yeah, can I back up 1 second first? So when Snake ate that dog, and then dog uh, transformed into hummingbird, it's like, oh, you ate my dog, but there is, I mean, that's just a transition.
Yeah.
And so it shouldn't, we shouldn't be hanging on so tight that we can't move forward. And so, yeah, even though it was a nice dog, and that, like, I mean, even that disturbed me, that visual. However, it's just a transition. And I'm sorry, Snake ate your dog. But
You're absolutely right. This is what we were talking about letting go of identity, getting into flow state, letting go of the ego, because time requires change. When you go through time, if you do not change, anything that stays the same will eventually die and then be forced into a change, because everything has to transform as it goes through.
yeah,
Nothing stays the same.
yeah,
It just can't.
right. Okay. So, what was the thing that you said before I went backwards?
Why do we want to shapeshift? What's the point? What do we get out of it? Seems
I,
like a lot of work.
no, no, it's not. So, it sounds like a lot of play. Sounds fun. Um, for me, and it's really simple, especially at these times. Well, number one, I want to shapeshift into a higher level of consciousness. I want to shapeshift into joy, into light, into harmony and balance. I can constantly talk about us being on the web of creation, and how we are creating our reality right now on the strands that we play on. And if we want to shapeshift into another strand of reality, then we can, and we can see how that plays out and how it feels a little different to us. But certainly, if you're struggling with something today, um, then I would call on a power animal, and try to gain some strength that power animal can give. Like, if I need to shapeshift into that snake to see how it feels like to let go of my skin, my ego, my identity of what I think it looks like, and just be this very vulnerable snake that doesn't really have a strong skin. Ooh, ooh, how does that feel? Slimy. Okay.
Belly on the earth. It feels like beauty. It feels like
Yeah.
connection. I love it. And I love all the positive words you're using, because where I was using the word endurance, you were like, they're great travelers. They travel with ease. Where I was using certain words, I found you coming into the joy, happiness, play aspect of it, which I really, really loved, because that's you speaking after having already ingested the medicine instead of being afraid to take the medicine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And well, that is a lot of my journey right now, is to find more and more of that joy versus the other end of it. Yeah.
the other end of joy, the tail end of what the snake ate. And all of this animal medicine is offering different perspectives. So shape-shifting into these different animals is giving different perspectives, such as the perspective of joy, such as the perspective of play. But we also do it to complete tasks. We can transform into certain animals to get certain things accomplished. And we can transform, maybe not into animals, but use our shape-shifting skills that's within our DNA in order to connect with people on a different level and mirror to them what they are, or allow others to mirror to us what we are. Mirrors is a really big part of our natural innate shape-shifting ability. Would you agree, Mr.
Yes,
Shay?
I would. Yes, I would.
And we come into that mirror state simply through release of the identity. If I'm with Danny and I am just so, well, I have to be me, rather than trying to be open, let my guards down, have that vulnerable belly out like the snake, and be open to everything Danny is, then everything that Danny perceives when we're together is going to be an aspect of him. And everything I'm perceiving of Danny is an aspect of me. And this is how we can connect,
Yeah.
and our energies kind of morph together a little bit and we shapeshift into one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love that. I'll probably have to listen to that a couple of times. I remember when I was up in Shasta, and this amazing woman. I go, how do you deal with all of these tourists? Because she dealt with a lot of transient people coming in and out, and she goes, I go, how do you stay happy with this? She goes, they're just mirrors of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, what? And so even though I've been aware of that concept, something that she said and how she said it kind of shook me to my core. I go, these nasty people, that one that was just screaming at you was a reflection of you, because I never, ever, ever have seen her in any of that low level state. And so it really opened up my mind that, we all have that, even though we tap it down and tap it down. It's good to see that is just a mirror of us. And it's like a little warning, Will Robinson, you could go there easy. So, well, maybe not easy, but you could go there. You could go in that negative space and start yelling at people.
I did it yesterday. I didn't yell at somebody. Okay, so it's a really long story. I'm not going to get into it right now. I'd rather tell a different story instead. But I'm going to tell like a little shortened version. I was so stressed. I had so much to do this week. My middle son's birthday is today, and there's so much to order, so much to do, and he's also selling. He has a fundraiser at his school, but I'm responsible for picking it up. And I got through with my appointments early and went to the school to pick it up. And this is the third time I left work early, went up to the school, and the school had a sign up saying that they weren't doing the fundraiser that day. Okay, 3 times. And I was frustrated. So I got on my phone and I called that school, and they didn't pick up. So I left them a voicemail. And I said exactly what I thought about their efficiency and how they could streamline better, and how if they want us to raise money for their school, they need to be available for us to get the fundraiser, especially if we're leaving work early, according to the times that they laid out for us to pick up the fundraiser. And I also said, now I know whoever's listening to this message, this is not your fault, but please let's do better for me. We all have the ability to get there, honey. We do. Everything is an aspect of us. But she did call back this morning, and she said, how are you? And I said, I'm much better this morning. Thank you. I realized this wasn't your fault. I just was very frustrated and needed to say it to somebody, even if it was a machine. And she said, well, lucky for you, I didn't listen to the message. The machine printed it out in a paragraph and it sounded very polite in the paragraph. So I didn't know you were mad. And I said, that's great.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
putting up
How
a filter.
cool is that? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, if you have to deal with somebody that's saying stupid stuff, translate it and write it out, it makes it so much easier to digest. Yeah.
The full brunt of that energy isn't hitting you. It's your perspective that reads it and
Yes.
accepts it
Yeah.
however it can be accepted.
Well, number one, happy birthday to your middle son. It's today.
It's today, yes.
And you're
He's
spending time with me? What's the matter with you?
school. He's at school.
Okay. So the other thing I was thinking about was that's pretty high tech school that they can print out their voicemails. Why do they need any money from you? Sounds like they got enough.
They have a few fundraisers. They have about 3 fundraisers a year. They also, each kid has their own tablet, like iPad, that they get to bring home. Not an iPad, but it's like some sort of.
Oh, wow.
That they bring home. It's a public school though. Anyways, but when we're talking about shape-shifting, everybody has that ability to get somewhere. We all mirror each other. The story I actually wanted to tell there was I was working on a client one time and he was wanting to work on his attachment to his ex-girlfriend, right? So we're doing deep healing work. And this is how you can use shape-shifting as a healer or in healing work, because you have to be able to match the frequencies of your clients, to melt in with them a little bit, becoming one, and then track their energy through their body to find their timelines, their past lives, their future lives, their quantum lives. And I got so deep with this one person who was also gifted to heal this particular wounding that when the session was over and we came out, I sat and he sat up and looked at me, and I could feel my face, my energy on my face starting to crawl. So I knew the shape shifting was happening. And he looked up and he left the room, like all surprised, and came back. And he was like, why did you do that? And I said, do what? And he said, you were wearing my ex-girlfriend's face. I sat up and you were her. And I was like, I'm not responsible for anything that happens during these sessions, because naturally shape-shifting happens when you connect with somebody. You just together like that.
Yeah. Wow.
My tangent.
What?
My tangent.
Your tangent.
I've put it off long enough. It's not really a tangent. It's just something I want to bring up. So we've talked a good bit about shape-shifting, power animals, the medicine wheel, and most of that has to do with shape-shifting within the 3D realm. But timelines was also a very small thing that you've mentioned a couple of times, and I've mentioned. When we shape-shift to do timeline healing, and we're out in those timeline healing realms, out of the 3D, in those spaces, there is something that I think is important to mention around those protections that you were bringing up. Because when you're out in those realms, there's also archetypes there that guide you, such as the Time Master, and that's your north space. But within the duality of all things, there is also the opposite of the Time Master, which I don't have a name for it yet. I've entitled it The Curse, but it's the opposite of the Time Master. And so if we choose to go out into those realms, like for people who are more advanced and who know how to get into that time space continuum and to do the time healing work, making sure that you bring these power animals with you, or that you have your protections with you, or that you're washing yourself with the rainbow colors before you come back, because there is an equal and opposite to every energy.
Right.
So when you're following that Time Master, you're in those good energies. Like Danny said, he said, when I'm with source energy, I don't worry about the negativity. But when you're just kind of flowing through, working on the timelines, you need that protection.
Yeah. Let me go back a little bit. When you were with your client and he said, oh my God, you shapeshifted into my ex. What cleansing protection do you carry with you on that? Because you
So
don't want to walk around as the ex-girlfriend.
no, after every session, everything's broken. I break all my energy from their energies. You
Okay.
know, we have lots of different ways to do that. So we
Yeah.
can,
Okay. Yeah. I didn't want to let that hang there
yeah.
because it was like it's important that people do break that at the end and they clean that and it's done. It's like whoop and separate. So it's important to not stay in that energy because we are here on earth to
Mhm,
do earth work.
mhm.
This is earth school, earth work, earth joy, earth. It's not snake joy, eagle joy, ex-girlfriend. It's to do our own work. Okay. Yeah. I just want
Absolutely. Very, very good. That is a major protection, is always breaking your energy from anybody else that you've been connected with or working with when you're done with them, coming back to yourself. But also keeping in mind that part of that was his ability to perceive the mirror shapeshifter inside of me because of
mhm.
what he was working on. His perception was able to see that part. So
Yeah.
that is a couple of different layers with it.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, Danny Shay, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else coming up for you? Anything you want
Uh,
people to know?
mm, be kind. That's what I want people to know. Be kind. No, that's it. I don't have anything coming up or anything going on in the works.
Just tune into him on Fridays for a good ramble and on
For
Sundays for something more spiritual.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think the point of all of this, you know, we've come back to the beginning of things with the medicine wheel and power animals and transcendence and timeline work. But I think that what Danny has really helped us be able to walk away from all of this with is a very heart-centered practice around joy, happiness, and play.
Mm.
I think that's what we can definitely walk away from today with.
Oh, we can walk away with a lot of stuff. You were giving us lots of good stuff. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. This has been an honor to be here.
Thank you so much for coming back today and hanging out with us. And I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
Oh yeah, we'll schedule it right now.
For every 4.5 weeks, repeating for
Yeah.
foreseeable future. Thank you so much, Danny. Thank you, everybody, for
Thanks,
tuning
Mary.
in.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.